Should the New York Knicks sign Reggie Bullock in NBA free agency? He has been waived by the San Antonio Spurs, and he is free to choose where he wants to play next. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into the idea of if the Knicks should bring back former Knick Reggie Bullock. I mean, once a Knick, always a Knick. It's inside the jersey. It's a saying that's always popular when former Knicks players become available. But in all seriousness, Reggie Bullock is a Tom Thibodeau guy through and through. You talk about players that Tom Thibodeau would create in a lab, and if you're talking about a bench wing, that is Reggie Bullock for Tom Thibodeau. He defends, he's 6'7", he's got long arms, and he can spot up and create off-ball motion to get himself open looks. I'm a fan personally of Reggie Bullock, but you got to understand what he is at this point. He's not a starter. He's someone that comes off the bench, plays 12 to 15 minutes, plays some good perimeter D, and knocks down some open shots from the corners. And what he does is somewhat lacked on this Knicks roster. You talk about who's on this team. You see him up on screen. They are, and everyone likes to say it to me, enough of the 6'4" guards, when they really only have like two 6'4" guards on the team. But I get what people are saying. Reggie Bullock is a wing. He's a true 6'7" guy with almost like a 6'11" wingspan, really long and lanky. He can guard positions 1 through 4 in certain cases. And the Knicks need another wing defender. You can actually run a lineup if you do sign Reggie Bullock. I know Tom Thibodeau wants to go with that 9-man rotation. But what about a bench unit of a guy like Emmanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Reggie Bullock? Those guys that you're 1 through 4, you are extremely scrappy. You are extremely disciplined. You play defense, and you can make shots all around the perimeter. I'm a fan of the guy. Not his best, most recent years. He's getting older, no doubt about it. That's why I think he's more of a bench player at this point. But you can't deny what he does well. Look at this. 38% from 3 last year in 78 games played. 36% from 3 in 68 games played in 2021. And then in 2020, he knocked down 41% of his threes, and all of it is on high usage. Hasn't shot less than 5 3-pointers a night in each of the last 3 seasons, and he's knocking them all in well above league average. I also think he fits well with what the Knicks want to do offensively. We know teams love to double-team Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. Both those guys were in the top 10 of most double-team players in the NBA. When you double-team someone, that means somebody's wide open, and you're going to get catch-and-shoot threes. And Reggie Bullock, he knocks them down at an elite percentage. He shot 39.3% on catch-and-shoot threes last year for the Dallas Mavericks, 4.8 per game. He's also deadly from the right corner, 49.5% from the corner. The Knicks shoot some of the most corner threes in the NBA. That's because their drive and kick game, whether it's Quickley, whether it's Brunson, whether it's Barrett, whether it's Randle, drive and kick. Not as well from the left corner. That's really the case, though, for most. It's actually flopped if you think about it. You really want, if you're a right-handed shooter, you want to shoot from that left corner, whereas if you're in the right corner, you're shooting with your right hand towards the baseline. So a little bit introverted right here for Reggie Bullock. Fact of the matter is, though, he's deadly from the corner. Great open looks the Knicks generate on their offensive attack, and he's still a good defender. 1.2 deflections per game, and he wasn't a super heavy minute getter for the Dallas Mavericks. So scrappy on defense and still can knock down the 3 ball at a really high rate. Should the Knicks sign him, though? They've got a couple of wings, R.J. Barrett, Josh Hart. Barrett's 6'7", Josh Hart is 6'4". You don't really have a second 6'7" wing that can defend 2 3s and 4s. Bullock can somewhat do that. What do you think? Should the Knicks go out and sign Reggie Bullock? I'm a fan. I really am. I want to hear from you. I'll give you more thoughts in a second. Type S for sign, type P for pass. I also want to let you guys in on a secret. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the promo code CLNS and put $100 into your account, PrizePicks is also going to give you $100, and you're going to have $200 to game with. Shout out to PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. PrizePicks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. I already have my lineup submitted for Monday Night Football. I believe Daniel Jones is going to have a good game against the Seattle defense that gives up about 30 points per game. I'm going to go more on his set stat projection of 1.5 passing rushing and receiving TDs combined. I think one of DK Metcalf or Darren Waller is going to score, so I'm going to go more than a half of a receiving or rushing touchdown between those two guys. I think the Giants are going to be able to slow down Geno Smith a little bit. I'm going to go less than 269.5 passing and rushing yards. You can roll with my picks. You can fade my picks. Just do it at this link right here, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and remember, promo code CLNS, and they'll match your first deposit. Why not sign Reggie Bullock at this point? He's not going to break the bank. You're going to sign him for a 1-year veteran minimum deal. We've said it time and time again on this channel, and I will continue to say it. Go out and sign Tom Thibodeau guys, because Tibbs is going to play Tibbs guys. No more Cam Reddish, no more Evan Fournier. And he fits what you need. You need more defense, and you need more shooting. And he also gives you depth. And I think that's somewhat of an underrated statement right now for the Knicks. The Knicks were really healthy last year. The injury bug is waiting to bite the New York Knicks, but it goes deeper than that. Let's say you add Reggie Bullock, and he becomes your backup small forward, and then Josh Hart remains your backup power forward, or it's just you're playing two small forwards at the same time, which is what 95% of bench units in the NBA at this point are. What about this, though? Who's to say the Knicks aren't going to make a trade in season? I think it's almost likely that they will make a trade. Well, they will consolidate more assets than they get back, which means you're going to need more depth. Reggie Bullock can be a guy that you sign now, and maybe through the first 25 games doesn't play all that much, but when you trade two of your rotation players and you get back one, Bullock can fit the need of a guy you missed. He's also just a winning player, man. He competes, he plays defense, and he can knock down the three. And I think playing alongside a guy like Jalen Brunson and Emmanuel Quickly is going to get decent looks as well. Maybe not Luka Doncic type looks, but still decent looks in this offense. I think they should do it. And I know Tom Thibodeau is probably pounding the table right now telling Leon Rose, we need Reggie Bullock. Go get it done. If the Knicks do make a move, whether it be Bullock or somebody else, we'll have you covered with a video. So subscribe to New York Knicks Now by Chat Sports. Free Knicks content every day. We're going to be live for preseason game #1 against the Boston Celtics, who just traded for Jrue Holiday. That is the news of the day. Another team in the Eastern Conference that's better than the New York Knicks got better within the past week. What a trade for the Boston Celtics. Did they give up a good amount? Yeah, but they got a player who, in my opinion, complements what they have in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown extremely well. And I think they may have the best big three right now in the Eastern Conference. Woj broke the news this morning. The Portland Trail Blazers are trading guard Jrue Holiday to the Boston Celtics. This is what the trade package looked like. They gave up a pretty penny. You give up Malcolm Brogdon, who really no one cares about at this point. He's 30 years old. He's injury prone. Best days are behind you. But you give up a blue chip prospect of potentially. I'm a fan of Robert Williams, but he's somewhat injury prone. But when he's on the floor, he's one of the best defensive bigs in this league. And you give up an unprotected 2029 pick, and then you give up the 2024 first round picks that belongs to Golden State, but the Boston Celtics held the rights to. Look, I am a little bit upset the Knicks didn't trade for Jrue Holiday, because I think a lineup of Holiday, Brunson, Hart, Randall, and Mitchell Robinson could have really been a top 2-3 team in the Eastern Conference. I had a tweet that kind of went viral a little bit, and people were upset with what I said. I was half-heartedly joking, but, you know, Knicks fans are extremely sensitive about certain things. This is what I'm upset about. Not so much that the Knicks didn't trade for him, it's that they let another team that they were going to be competing against this year get better than them. The Bucks, they get Dame. The Celtics, they get Jrue Holiday. It's the Bucks, it's the Celtics, and then it's the third seed. There is a huge gap. It is a two-horse race right now in the Eastern Conference. And somehow the Knicks have to close the gap. I don't know how they do it. I think it's going to be a trade in season. I feel more confident by the day that the Knicks are going to make a blockbuster trade between that now and that February 2024 NBA trade deadline. Not sure who it's going to be for, but they have to. Because at the end of the day, you only got Jalen Brunson on this cheap contract for another year after this year, and the same with Julius Randle. And then sooner rather than later, R.J. Barrett could be making $28 million here and still not be a elite player in the league, and that's somewhat frustrating. They have to close the gap. I don't know how they do it, but man, Dame, Giannis, Jrue, Tatum, no left hand, Jaylen Brown. Yeah, they're going to be pretty freaking good. Can the Knicks make the Eastern Conference Finals? If you asked me this 72 hours ago, I would have said yes. Now, I don't know. I would have told you, though, last year I don't think the Knicks could have won a playoff series before they traded for Josh Hart. Then they did. I'm going to say it's currently constructed now. They need to make a move. Can they beat those teams? Yeah, look, it's basketball. Anything can happen, but they're going to be heavy underdogs, and it's going to have to be a shocking type of effort from those guys. Those teams got better. I like what the Knicks did this offseason. I like the addition of Dante DiVincenzo, but he's not in the same class as Dame Lillard or Jrue Holiday. As always, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give me a follow over on Twitter. Video out on the channel tomorrow. We'll see you later. Go Knicks.